Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth. Make we reason. Make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon. Nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica. Make we talk.
Good evening, Jamaica. And good evening to Jamaicans in the diaspora. Welcome to an edition of the Mek Wi Talk program. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tavares. Tonight, we're going to have opposition spokesperson on energy, the Honorable Phillip Paulwell, Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal. He will be my special guest at the top of the hour. The issue that is facing Jamaicans, $24 billion loan to the Jamaica Public Service Company, and the JPS, 7% increase in utility bills across the length and breadth of Jamaica. Is this a caring or an uncaring Jamaica Public Service Company? Who is going to benefit from this $24 billion loan? The Minister of Energy, Darrell Vaz, is defending the $24 billion loan to JPS, and questions are being asked by the Jamaican people. Who is benefiting from this? Is it the people of this country? Or is it JPS alone benefiting? Or the people who loan JPS this money? And the money don't belongs to the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Finance, or the Minister of Energy. The money belongs to the Jamaican people. And we, the Jamaican people, must ask questions tonight as we stand by to join Mr. Phillip Paulwell, who's going to come on at the top of the hour. I want to say good evening to all those who are just joining us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Mek Wi Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Thank you all very much for coming on. Good night to all the students who are in the chat room. Good night to those who are watching us from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. Those in the land of wood and water. Good night to you. And tonight, as we come on air, my heart goes out to the people of our country, Jamaica, and in particular, the people of Western Jamaica. Those who don't have a roof over their head. Those who don't have a roof over their head or somewhere to put their head to sleep. But let me say this to you tonight. Our hearts are with you. And we're praying for you and hoping that God in His mercies will really open a way out for many of our Jamaican citizens who have nowhere to put their head tonight. But you know, many of us don't understand what is really going on. But as we come on air this evening to dig deeper into this JPS issue, Jamaicans must not forget a $24 billion bus scandal, the drill, and we can go on and on. This minister believes that we, the people of this country, must not ask him any question whatsoever. But I just want him to know that we, the Jamaican people, have a right to ask the questions. That $24 billion, we, the people, are putting that up front. Not you, Minister Vaz. We, the Jamaican people. We, the people of this country, is the one who is putting all of that up. Surely not you. Surely not you. I want you to play a video clip in here before I have Member Paulwell, we're still waiting on him to come on. We're still waiting on Member Paulwell to grace us with his presence. As soon as we have him, then we go deeper into what this discussion is all about. But I want to play a video clip in here for you. It was something that's done on CVM TV. I hope I can get it up on the system here. If not, then I'll just proceed with what I have. Let me see if I can get it up on the system here. Just a moment here. Yes, here it is. I want to play this for you.
Apologize for that insert a moment ago, but $150 million now being given to JPS in order to accelerate their restoration efforts.
Okay, let me not play this. I was told by my producers, don't play this as yet. Let me not do this as yet. Let me just take this off of here. I was told by my producers, good night to Owen Brown, who decided to grace us with his presence in helping us this evening pertaining to this program. We're standing by to join Member Paulwell, Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson on Energy, Mr. Phillip Paulwell. He is the Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal. We're standing by to join him to come onto the program this evening to speak to us. Let me enlighten Minister Darrell Vaz about something here. We, the people of this country, put you there. The people of West Portland put you there as Member of Parliament. the money that you handled or the money that you loaned to JPS don't belongs to you or your family. It belongs to the people of this country. The money that you took to pay $1.4 billion for those old dilapidated school buses don't own by you. That money is owned by the people of this country, the taxpayers of this country. And we have a right to ask you any question. The opposition have a right to ask you any question, Minister Vaz. And everything that will come out of your mouth is bad mind. The Jamaican people are bad minded for nothing. We, the people of this country, demand answers from you. And you must answer us. The same way we demand answer of you about the $1.4 billion that you spend on these old dilapidated school buses, we're demanding answers from you of the $24 billion. Hold on there for me. Hold on there for me. Hold on there. I wonder if I sent Member Paulwell the correct thing. Let me double check and see if I send him the correct thing, because I knew I did. Just stand by for me, please. Mr. Paul is asking me if I'm seeing him in the system here. And I am not seeing him in the system here. You know, these technologies, things are just something else. We're standing by to join the opposition spokesperson on energy, Mr. Phillip Paulwell. Let me figure something here. Okay. Uh-oh. Let me go into this and see something. Okay. I hope he is putting on the correct thing, you know. Yes. I want you to let Mr. Vaz know that the $24 billion that we're asking questions about, Minister Vaz, it don't belong to you nor the Homeless Administration. It is not your personal money. It is not your personal money. It is the people of this country money, not your money. So how dare you? Okay, you're here. I am hearing you. Okay, member, give me a minute here, people. Let me just take a quick commercial break and speak to Member Paulwell off air to get him to come onto the system here. Just one moment here for me, please. Just a moment here. Don't go anywhere. Just a moment here, please. Just one moment here, please.
Mek Wi Talk. Unity is strength. Mek we reason. Mek we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Mek we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Mek Wi Talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Mek Wi Talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength, make we reason. Mek Wi Talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Mek Wi Talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength, make we reason. Mek Wi Talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Mek Wi Talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va. No upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not help Jamaica, make we talk. Make we talk. Unity is strength. Make we reason. Make we talk. If we see corruption in any shape or form, we're going to highlight it. Make we talk. Jeffrey Tavares represents yard and broad and the entire diaspora. As long as it affects the life of our nation, uncover the truth, make we reason, make we talk. And we don't care about no vumva viva va, no upper echelon, nobody is not above the law. As long as it not...
Good evening, welcome back to the Mek Wi Talk program. A little technical difficulties there, but we sorted out. Without any further ado, let me welcome Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal, Opposition Spokesperson on Energy, Mr. Phillip Paulwell. Member Paulwell, welcome to the program, sir.
I am so happy to be on, Jeffrey. I thank you, and I'm happy to be here. I want to greet your viewers as well. Very good to be here.
Thank you very much. I want to say good evening to Jamaicans and Jamaicans in the diaspora. Welcome to an edition of the Mek Wi Talk program. I'm your host, Jeffrey Tavares. Tonight, we take a critical issue. We talk about a critical issue that faces every household and every business in Jamaica. The government loan of $24 billion to the Jamaica Public Service Company, and in the same breath, a 7% increase in the electricity bill by the Jamaica Public Service Company. Jamaicans are asking questions. How can the government loan billions of dollars to JPS, yet the citizens are paying more in electricity bills? Where's the accountability? Joining me this evening is Member of Parliament, Mr. Phillip Paulwell, Opposition Spokesperson on Energy. Member Paulwell, once again, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Good to be on. Looking forward to our discussion.
Indeed. My question to you tonight, Mr. Paulwell, can you explain this $24 billion loan to the JPS from the government of Jamaica? I know you're the government minister, but do you know anything? Can you explain it to us?
All right, I will try, because I don't know if you've been following, but when Minister Vaz first spoke about it on the 25th of November, he really couldn't explain it in any details. And even recently, when the Minister of Finance, now this loan is granted under her auspices, she really didn't have a clue as to some of the details. My understanding is, one, the JPS infrastructure suffered tremendous damages during the hurricane. I am told that they have about 340,000 poles across Jamaica, and roughly between 10 and 15% of those distribution poles went down flat. And they also have 50,000 transmission poles. These are the bigger ones. And I'm told that about 10,000 of those went down. So it's really a massive damage to the network. I'm further told that they had done some estimates of how much it would cost to resurrect those poles so that Jamaicans could get back electricity within a certain time frame. I was hearing in the grapevine 500 million, 600 million.
US or Jamaican currency?
No, we're talking, let me be clear, we're talking about United States dollars.
Whoa.
That's what we were hearing. And when the minister came to Parliament, he said 350 million is what it would take. The week after that, the OUR, Office of Utilities Regulation, came before the PAAC, and they told the PAAC that in their own estimate, it would be somewhere below 400 million US. So initially, our concern was if it's going to cost you using the 350 million, and you are prepared to provide a loan of 150 million, and you say that you want electricity to be fully restored, and having said that it would cost 350, and also that JPS could not raise $1 on the international market because it doesn't have a viable future. The obvious question is, so where are you going to find the balance of the 150? At the time, they didn't tell us about interest rates. We now know it's 5.5%. At the time, we weren't clear really where and which agency of the state would be doing the loan. And there's some other things that we're not clear about. But what we are being told now, and it was only told to me on Friday on some talk show by Senator Marlon Morgan, and repeated, I gather, subsequently by the minister, that this 350 million is not so good, that it is only 150 million.
Hold on there a minute. Hold on there for me, Member Paulwell. This is confusing.
Utterly confusing, and I really believe that the Jamaican people deserve better than this. You can't be saying that this thing is going to cost 350 million one day, and then you're going to say to us, well, I'm going to lend them 150 million, and electricity will be fully restored by the end of January. That doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. I haven't been able to get from JPS a precise figure as to what it will cost. My own view is that it will cost more than $150 million. My own view is that the government of Jamaica will have to fork out. And so let us talk now about real brass tacks. When we talk about 150 million US dollars, it's 24 billion with a B Jamaican dollars. When you look at the destruction that has occurred. And we know some of the price tags already. So this is 24 billion that you're taking out from what you as government should be spending to get houses back in order, to get roads fixed, and so on. So this 24 billion, I believe, will be much greater eventually, because the JPS is going to come back and say, well, listen, your 24 billion initially has not been able to do the job. It cannot. So we need some more money. And there's only one place they can look to. I want to talk a little bit later on about the license and those issues.
Yes.
But one place they can look to is the government of Jamaica. Are you going to say to the country at that time that you don't have any more money to lend? And what will you say to those people who at that time would not have gotten back electricity? So we are in a real conundrum, and we need answers. And the minister, all he knows to talk about is bad mind.
So is it that the Jamaican people bad mind if the money we spend into JPS? It's his money, you know. It's not our money, it's his money.
It is our money. We are going to be the ones to pay it back. So listen to this other part of it now. So he says that this money is being lent for 5 years. After 2 years, the JPS license comes to an end. And he says that if they aren't able to agree on going forward, then that load becomes due unpayable. And if JPS can't pay it, they will convert it into shares in the company. Now, there's a simple question. All right, so if you're going to convert to shares, what is the value of this of each share? So if, from today, you can know what that conversion will be, not after 2 years when the value would have increased because of your own investment in the company. And I don't think they appreciate that point. But it is something that I think we do need to get answers for.
But Member Paulwell, JPS has been collecting money over the years from the Jamaican people when they pay their electricity bill.
Yes.
I think that they call that a insurance, something like that.
Well, there is a fund that was established because the JPS is unable to go and get insurance on the market. Nobody's going to insure a grid. So there is an amount that is built into your electricity bills that is put aside by the OUR, and it is there to deal with emergencies. Last year, after Beryl, we are told that they made a significant raid on the funds, and that this year it was only 50 million US that was available for them to draw down on. Again, it's very opaque. You're not getting any clear answers. How much has been actually taken out of the 50? You're not even, we even asked the OUR, how can you tell that the bills that you get from JPS are real, that the costs are real? And by now, I would have expected that the OUR would have had in its shop expertise to be able to go and make these determinations and to say whether or not this 50 million I'm paying over to the JPS is actual money that is needed to do X amount of work. So we are told that they have gotten and depleted the funds from this energy disaster fund, and having taken that out, this is where the 350 comes in afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah. So I know it's confusing. I know it's confusing.
Very much so, Member Paulwell.
Yes. The essential point to note is that this money is taxpayers' money. One way or the other, we are going to be called upon to deal with it. And at this point in time, we can't even see a copy of the agreement. I want to see a copy of the loan agreement between the government of Jamaica and JPS Go. Yeah.
It's same way we can't see the service ticket for the old dilapidated school buses either.
Well, I haven't seen them myself.
But Member Paulwell, why the government believe it was necessary to invest funds into JPS? How many shares does the government of Jamaica have into JPS, sir?
Right, the government owns just about 19%, say 20%, and the balance 80% is divided between the two major shareholders, Marabini and East West Power.
Mm-hmm.
And right, so you're asking the question, why couldn't JPS undertake to fund this thing otherwise? So what has been told to us is that the shareholders are not willing to put in their own money. And when they go out to borrow, they are told that they don't have a viable future. I think an option that the government could have utilized without having to take cash out of our budget is to provide what we call a sovereign guarantee. So at least it will be JPS.
Explain that to us.
Right. So JPS could go on the international market, raise the money, and the government of Jamaica could guarantee it. Just like when you go to borrow money.
The guarantor.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
So what it means is that you wouldn't have to take up your own cash.
Right.
That you need to fix up roads and things.
Mm-hmm.
You would say, I'll stand surety, guarantee, and they will get the money from outside, elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option, and I don't know why that was not contemplated, right? Because again, it would enable us to use what we have, that 150 million US, 24 billion Jamaican, to deal with things that we need to deal with here.
Exactly.
They didn't do that. And I didn't know that the government of Jamaica was so rich that they could have just said, boy, maybe we just take this money and lend to JPSCO, knowing very well that JPSCO's viability is not assured.
Is it that JPS, Member Paulwell, is a bankrupt company, sir?
JPSCO makes money. The Jamaica Public Service Company makes profits. It's not bankrupt by any means. Last year, they made quite a lot of money, billions of dollars.
But Member Paul, Jamaicans are asked if JPS is making money. Why are we loaning JPS $24 billion?
Be careful they don't start calling you bad mind.
Well, they can't call me bad mind because neither Tavares nor Marlon Morgan will never come on this platform here to come and tell us what is going on. But they're afraid of us over here.
I want to be clear, Jeffrey. I want to see electricity restored to every Jamaican. I went to Westmoreland long after the hurricane, like about 6 weeks after, because I sent down stuff, but when I heard about the condition, I had to wait. So when I eventually went there, 6 weeks after, I was amazed at the level of dilapidation, the level of destruction that you could see on the ground still. So I know the suffering that's taking place. I know people want to get back to normality. Christmas is coming, the New Year is coming. So I know how it goes, right? But our government has to be responsible. And I still can't see the justification, but more so, I still don't understand where this is going, because rather than a bill of $24 billion, we could be faced with double that amount if the JPS says, well, listen, Westmoreland cannot be done with this money that you have given. We need to double it. St. James cannot be completed.
Not to mention St. Elizabeth.
St. Elizabeth. Man, when I drove through Black River, I don't know, have you been down there? It is.
No, I am in the States, but we went down and do a little flyover, but boy, we decided not to land because the government of anyway, Jeffrey, behave yourself tonight. Let me not get into that part. Member Paulwell, if the JPS should go back to the government now and tell them, listen to me, this is not enough. Why is it that the government of Jamaica, the minister himself, cannot give a true explanation of where we are going with this $24 billion? You have any idea? I mean,
No, I don't know. We are not, Parliament is not in session until in the new year. I have many questions that I will be tabling for answers, details required. I want to see this agreement, this loan agreement. I want to also see the letter that the minister, in the heat of the campaign this year, wrote to the JPS. I want to understand why they don't feel confident to invest their own money. There are so many questions to be answered.
As a member of the opposition, was the Parliament briefed properly about this loan?
Still today, we're not briefed properly. No. You saw, I don't know if you saw when the Minister of Finance was being questioned. A number of us questioned her in the Standing Finance Committee. And it was as if, mom is the word. She was not able to answer simple questions in relation to the public finances of this country, including this very important loan.
And it begs to ask the question, Member Paulwell, that it seems as if the Minister of Finance is being bamboozled or muzzled not to answer questions, or is it that she can't answer the question that's being asked by opposition members? You know, it doesn't look good on the country at all in a Member Paulwell.
No, I think those financial institutions that step up and provided this envelope. Remember that it's just an envelope to date. The details are not yet worked out enough. And there is a lot of additional work to be done. When they see that performance, I don't know if it's going to give them the kind of confidence that they would need to part with so much money. So we're waiting to see the outcome of those details. What occurred in Parliament was not inspiring at all.
Talk to us about the JPS license.
Yes, I really welcome this. Every day the minister gets up and he says that the reason why the price of electricity is so high is because of this license that he has been saddled with. And that's a monumental lie. And I will explain to you. First of all, I wasn't the minister who signed the license, but I was a member of the government at the time. At the time, the JPS was, by many accounts, not managed well. They didn't have the resources to ensure that we had a reserve of electricity so that when there's a problem with a unit, the entire country isn't locked down. That was the main problem, the resources to have adequate capacity. And so, in its wisdom, the government of the day, which I was a part of, decided that it was going to enable private sector to come in to purchase the company and to put in the requisite investment. I think in retrospect, there are some things that I personally would have done differently. In fact, I mean, I can say upfront that perhaps at that time, if we had looked at the grid separate and apart from the generation capacities, what was being generated, and to see the grid as a national infrastructure that ought to be maintained by the people, and which would enable competition, because you can only have one grid, you cannot have two, but it will enable the government of Jamaica to treat it just like it does with with transport as a public utility that the people would own and would require from time to time investments. We would call it subsidies, but it was divested totally. And there are some specific terms of the license which enable it to operate the grid as a monopoly. You know, I don't like monopolies. And one of the first things I did when I became minister was to see how we could whittle away and get competition even with a license like that. And let me say clearly, it was my intention, if we had formed the government in September, that we wouldn't be waiting until 2027 for the license to expire. We had a plan. I was a minister who went to Parliament in 2015 and said, listen, here is new legislation, and this was new legislation being updated after 125 years of an old Electric Lighting Act. New legislation. I am giving this legislation 5 years before we will introduce new features in it, because I recognize that some of the features that were inside there was to preserve the JPS license. And by 2020, which is what I had in mind, was that you'd have negotiated a new license, you'd have incorporated new terms, and you'd have been able to move forward from then. This government has not even completed that review of the legislation as yet. But there's nothing sacrosanct about the license, you know. The license has been amended in a number of ways over time. So for the minister to be saying that he has been saddled by a license, an untouchable license, that is nonsense. The JLP government changed some of the terms of the license in 2008. I changed some of the terms of the license in 2016. For example, I thought that the lighting, electric lighting, needed to be modernized. And instead of using those big orange lamp that we were using, which burn a lot of energy and cost a lot of money, in that new license, I mandated that we move to LED lamps. You know, I mandated a number of things which made the license far more attractive than it was when it was first issued in 2001. So there's nothing magical about a license. The minister says the license is unconscionable, and it is the reason why things are so hard. Change the license, bring the parties together, negotiate. When I was minister and I had a telecommunications license that gave cable and wireless a monopoly until the year 2038. You hear me? We are in 2020.
I remember.
And I said to them, we can't live with this. And we got around the table. Yes, we had some fights over it, but eventually by 2000, 1999, 2000, we were able to get rid of that license. And because the government is the government, you know. And yes, you're not going to trample on people's rights, but the country cannot survive with how electricity is being done now. When I left office as minister, the price of electricity had come down. And it's not because of the license, it's because of what I did in policy. So we left the office in 2016 with the price of electricity at 23 US cents per kilowatt hour. We wanted to get it down to 18 eventually, which is where we believe that Jamaica will be very competitive and we'll be able to have lower inflation. Today, the price of electricity has risen under the same license to 40 cents. So it is not really the license that's a problem enough. What did I do to bring the price of electricity down? I moved to introduce renewable energy. Jamaica was the first country to free up the country to enable renewables. When I went as minister, the JPS was telling me, both the JPS and the OU was telling me, boy, minister, you can't bring on so much renewables because it is unstable and you're going to mash up the grid. You can only take 2% or 3% renewables onto the grid. I said,
Member
no.
Paul, stick up in there, Member Paul. Is it that Jamaica has an old grid or what?
No, this grid can accommodate 100% renewables. But this is what I was being told by the so-called engineers, that if you brought on so much, you're going to make this grid unstable. And with the stroke of a pen, I opened it up, and we were able to get Wigton Wind Farm, which was done by the government, 60 megawatts. I was able to get WRB 20 megawatts of solar. And then we had another wind farm in Malvern. And in that same process, we had another large solar farm out of Westmoreland. Now, the JPS could say, well, you know, you're affecting my license. Why are you doing this? But as minister, you have a responsibility to get the price of electricity down. We transformed the fuel sources from a reliance on heavy fuel oil and diesel and transform it to using liquefied natural gas. Now, LNG didn't just come here just so. When President Obama met with Prime Minister Simpson Miller, there was another team that was meeting, myself and the US Secretary of Energy. And out of that meeting came an agreement where Jamaica became the first non-NAFTA country to get liquefied natural gas out of the US. So all of that natural gas that you see coming here now, it came about out of that deal. Again, we was a JPS license. It could not affect what was good for the people, what we wanted as policy. And you see, when LNG is now off the grid, the price of electricity escalate. We were able to introduce LNG to Jamaica. And it came out of that relationship that Sister P and President Obama forged, right? So, and we got the price of electricity down.
But Member Paulwell,
yes.
Remember, I'm going to say, Member Paulwell, why is that Jamaicans over the years have been paying such high electricity bills? Because they're saying our energy bill is higher than anywhere else in the world. Is that so?
It is one of the highest. It is certainly in the Caribbean, one of the highest. And yes, today it is one of the highest globally. And remember, I'm telling you, yes.
So I want to go back to that. But why is it, Member Paulwell, that we in this country, God bless us with sun and wind, why can't we build a hell of a solar plant? Borrow the money from the Chinese, because we have to borrow money from the Chinese, you know. So we borrow some money from the Chinese and build a solar plant and help our people out. Why can't that be done?
Because this government, having seen what we did, and we did well, starting with the Wigton Wind Farm, and we started using wind technology, but we expanded into solar. Solar is the future. If we had won the elections in September, we would have immediately mandated another 200 megawatts of solar capacity to be added to the grid. It is the cheapest source of electricity now. And the good thing about solar, unlike when we had just started, is that you have such an improvement in the technology for storage.
Yes.
You have batteries now that will accommodate significant storage, so that when the sun goes down, you'll be able to have electricity during the nighttime from what you would have stored. This government wasted 10 years. It was only in the last year they went out with an RFP to try and get additional solar. If that had come on stream long before now, the price of electricity would be much lower. So don't let them talk nonsense about JPS license. It's government inaction while we are in this bind. And even now I'm saying to the minister, don't wait until 2027. There are some things that you need to do with the JPS license. You want to, for example, enable some other people to be competitors, to be involved. So when you look at the free zone, we call it an exclusive economic zone. It has not grown a lot because the price of electricity is so high. So I would allow those people who operate in the free zone to not only generate their own electricity, but to also distribute it within the free zone. That's one thing. There is another major factor why the price of electricity is so high. Whenever consumers pay their electricity bills, 20% of that cost is because of the stealing, theft of electricity. People who can't afford it go and steal it, and it has to be paid for. And it's a poor consumer who has to pay for that. 3 years ago, I introduced in the parliament a proposal to deal with electricity theft, and the minister has ignored that. Again, another thing that can be done to bring the price of electricity down. Our own, the LNG regime that we set up, liquefied natural gas, it was intended that that would be a competitive activity. In 2015, before we lost in 2016, I drafted the regulations to enable competition for LNG. That is still locked away in some cabinet, not being implemented by this government, right? So there are many things that can be done to bring the price of electricity down, and this government is wasting time.
I remember the last, we're going to go back to the whole licensing thing, but I remember the last time you came here, I asked you this question, I'll ask this question again. Why over the years, successive government has not approached members of the Jamaican diaspora to say to them, let us buy back JPS. That JPS is owned by us once more. It is owned by government, yes, a little bit percent owned by the government, yes. Can't that be done, Member Paulwell?
I think it can be done in the context of a negotiation, but I think what the diaspora could do, which would be far more meaningful and result in lower cost to the consumer, is to participate in these rounds of competition for new generation. So, for example, I was a bit disappointed that I didn't see, and it's probably the way it was marketed, any diaspora grouping bidding on the 100 megawatts that was recently available for renewable energy. I wasn't aware of that. You see? So it just seems as if it was marketed to a few people that this opportunity existed. I believe that for the future, whenever there is an opportunity like this for large-scale generation, because that's where you make money, right? But that's how you can get the price of electricity down because of the new technology. You should probably specifically go out there and woo the diaspora and say, listen, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that in light of the procurement rules. There's nothing wrong in giving affirmative action to your own people. And you have people in the diaspora with the competence, with the wherewithal to invest. And you should say, listen, once you are identified as from the diaspora, we'll give you additional points in terms of what you need to qualify and to win a bid. And you shouldn't be on the same footing as foreigners who are coming in. You know? So I believe that's an opportunity. I believe eventually, as I mentioned earlier, the day is coming when the grid will have to be taken back over. I believe that day is coming because increasingly people are migrating away from the grid. Jamaicans, an individual can establish their own generating facility. And as soon as they get wise to that fact, and with the capacity to borrow money to do their own electrical system, people are going to be fleeing the grid. And when that occurs, it will be only poor people who will remain on the grid. And because of that, the price is even going to go higher. And I think that is when the government really will be forced to step in and say, we're going to treat this like any utility, any like public transport, and provide some subsidy to enable the poorer people to have lower electricity price.
You speak about the license, Member Paulwell. Is it that if they change the agreement of the license now, at one point I heard if they change the agreement of the license, JPS can't go, they go bid or to borrow money. Is anything like that goes on?
No, what has occurred is that the government has written to the JPS in the heat of the election campaign to say we're going to cancel your license, to say we're going to take back the company. And if that is what is said, then there's no way anybody's going to lend such a company any money, which is the problem they are faced with now. And it's all because they're trying to be popular. They understand that the Jamaican people have this animosity, and in many ways it's justified, against JPS. So when you go out there and beat the chest and say, yes, I'm going to cancel this license, you get support. But there are some implications. And that is what is biting the government now, and why they have to find $24 billion plus more to bail out JPS at this time.
But one would think, Member Paul, that JPS sit down for a couple billion. Well, why do we have to bail out JPS?
And I think that's a reasonable question for the minister to answer.
And he will never answer because he's going to tell me that I'm bad mind.
In all of this, that has not been answered. I think the JPS leadership should come to the country, because they're getting a severe beating, not only for this issue of the loan, but also the price increase, which I think is just unconscionable at this time. But they should really come to the country, because, they remind me of another utility, Cable and Wireless.
Oh,
you remember when Cable and Wireless, when we got rid of the monopoly and another company came on the scene, everybody rushed away from Cable and Wireless to this other company, Digicel, right? Because people were so fed up with what they saw as poor treatment, bad treatment. And all I'm saying to JPS now, you shouldn't want to be in that same category, because one day people will have choices, and they're going to leave you because they see you as not beneficial to them. And I think now is the time. I think they could have foregone an increase at this time. They could have foregone it for another few months until the country is back on its feet. People can't be in darkness in some parts of Westmoreland.
But then I'm no house member, Paul.
Precisely. And hearing of price increase that they're going to be faced with once they can build by their house and get back their electricity. It's really unconscionable.
Is there anything that you have right now that you want to talk about JPS to let the people, the layman of our country, understand? Talk to us.
Yeah. Well, there are a few things. I've alluded to them already. I believe that the price of electricity is too high, and Jamaica cannot prosper at this level, and that when we look back at some examples when I was in government that saw the price coming down. At one time, the price, when I just came as minister, was 42 US cents. And in 2015, we got it down to 23 US cents. And there are ways to do that. You have to be aggressive in introducing more cheaper generating systems. And we have proven that solar is the best bet. And that when you subject that to competition, international competition, you'll get the best price. You'll get prices like below 10 US cents per kilowatt hour. I would also say that there's no magic to this license. There are some critical things that need to be changed, and that those can be changed now. For example,
What are those critical things, Member Ponder?
yes, but I'd alluded to them first of all. You want to remove any right of first refusal that JPS has to put in new generating plants. So that to remove that and make the whole thing be really competitive. Secondly, you want to ensure that two policies that I started, those need to be enshrined in a new license. One was net billing, which allows individuals who are generating their own electricity from, say, solar, enable them to attach to the grid and to be able to sell their additional capacity to the grid. And then there is also power wheeling, which allows a company with a number of locations in Jamaica to generate their own electricity and being able to attach that to the grid to supply the other locations. And again, you'll be able to get cheaper electricity onto the grid and much more than the individuals would need. Those are things that will bring the price of electricity down. I also want to see some more consumer-friendly provisions in a new license. For example, oftentimes people complain about damage to their equipment, their refrigerator, because of high voltage. And the JPS guy is going to look at you and say, well, you know, the contract that you signed with me made me not liable. Those things are unconscionable. And we need to strengthen those consumer protection provisions to mandate proper standards so that you should not be putting into people's homes electricity where the voltage is too high. There are ways to deal with that before it gets into people's homes. So those are some of the provisions that I think ought to be incorporated into a new license. And these are reasonable things.
Member Paulwell, do you have any idea how does the OUR, I'm not sure if you have spoken about this, how the OUR go about giving increase in JPS or in any other utility company? How they go about giving the increase? You have any idea, sir?
Yes. Well, what it does, first of all, where you have competition, like for example, on the generation side of the business, the OUR doesn't get involved. It gets involved with JPS because of this monopoly ownership on the grid. But it ought not to be a straight line item matter. I think the OUR needs to be cognizant of what is happening around them, the country, the fact that the high price of electricity will affect business and that you have to take other things into account. For example, at this time, when you look at this destruction and suffering taking place, you have to be mindful of that and to say to JPS, now is not the time for you to be trying to get back the so-called money that you have lost. You can make this effective some other time down the road. You can get it back some other time. But now is just bad time. I think the OUR has to be sensitive, a lot more sensitive in the way it conducts itself. I think the OUR needs to enable within it greater expertise to do assessments, to make determination as to how much is the real damage that you're claiming, and to do that independently of the regulated entity. I don't think they have that expertise, and that's probably, why some of these things occur.
Member Paulwell, and you're the member of parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal. Why is it that the people of our country, sir, have always have to bear the blunt of every single increase in this country? Even if the utility company is making a hell of a profit, at the end of the day, the people of this country suffer. We have sold everything out in this country. And at the end of the day, what do we gain? What do we gain?
Yeah.
Member
Well,
Paulwell,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, man, I'm with you in terms of the ownership of the grid, but I think it is now time for there to be constructive discussion in the country and an acceptance that there are certain things that ought to be owned by the state and ought to be protected and safeguarded, and for which you will incur losses, but for which a country should pay. And I think that's where we're at now in terms of what we call the grid. But in other areas, such as the generation side, we must make sure that there's full and open competition. And that's why I'm pleased with what we were able to do with the renewables. I'm not so pleased with what has come out of the opening up of the grid to natural gas, liquefied natural gas, because it is really a monopoly provider that we have now. And the rules are to be dusted off and people be allowed to compete in this way. But I agree with you that we are at a point now where serious discussion will have to ensue on the future ownership of the grid itself and
Yes.
not the elements. Yes.
Yes. Member Paul, we're going to switch gear for a little bit.
I do have a limitation, you know, so
I know you have a limitation. I know that, man. I know that at 8 o'clock you come off.
yeah, precisely.
Yeah. Right. I know that. There's an hour time. I know that about you, sir.
Okay.
You give me an hour.
Yes.
Let's switch to oil. Is it true that Jamaica has oil? You are Minister of Energy. You gave a were you the one who gave the license to this company out of London?
Yes, in 2015, based on my own understanding of the research that was done for 30 years before that, and the government of Jamaica having spent a lot of money in that research. I bet you many people don't know that the government of Jamaica drilled for oil over a number of years and spent a lot of money drilling for oil. And yes, we did see what we call shows, some evidence, but we did not see any commercial quantities anywhere. At that point in 2015, I decided that we were not going to spend any more money on the work that was done, including drilling. But I was convinced, and still am, that there is a major hydrocarbon source around Jamaica. And in my own mind, I'm quite clear where it is. And
is it between St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland?
it's in that area, offshore, coming into St. Elizabeth. There's a place called the Waltham Basin.
Yes.
Borders, you're correct, St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. And based on all the surveys that we would have done, and the surveys include analyzing the various rocks, their formation. We analyze in this area undersea surveys, seismic, and we did 2D, two-dimensional seismic, very expensive going to 3Ds. And so when I signed this agreement, I mandated the company to expand the scope of research to get into 3D seismic and then to do some exploratory testing of materials. My disappointment is that when I signed the agreement in 2015, we had mandated that drilling would have happened in 5 years. Because they don't want to tie up this opportunity in one hand. And people will hold on to a license because it has certain financial value and it is used to buttress their books. So I wanted somebody to come in to finish the research work and to drill. Unfortunately, that drilling hasn't occurred, but I'm aware of some of the research work that has been done. And that puts me even in a greater position of confidence to say that we do have either oil in its purest form or natural gas, large amounts somewhere around our vicinity. And if I were a minister, I do have regard for what the environmentalists say, but if we were to find oil, that would do wonders, as has been done in Guyana, to alleviate our poverty in Jamaica. And that's why I would pursue it.
You know, Member Paul, in the couple of minutes we have leave here, yes, you touched on a very important point a while ago. That will alleviate some of the poverty we have in this country. Do you believe that if Jamaica should find oil, really have oil, and because I believe oil is in Jamaica too, you know, based on the little knowledge that I got on here and whatever, I believe that between that area talk about St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, there is something there. But do you think that the Jamaican people, sir, the people who live below Crossroads, will benefit from all of this?
Well, that's a challenge now. In many countries where they have found oil, it has, in some cases, become a curse. And
because the people of the Fumba, you get it?
Because of corruption, because of mismanagement, and in the thing not benefiting the people. We are clear that when we find oil, unfortunately, we're not in government now, but whoever is in government, we have to make them account, because these resources should be utilized. And I don't want to count my chickens before the eggs are hatched.
Before the hatch.
But you want to ensure that you clear your debt. First of all, you want to ensure that your education system becomes first class. So you spend the money building that. You want to make sure that your health care is unmatched. And then you want to make sure that there are direct benefits now that flow to your people. But those are the priorities in that order. And when I got the vision to pursue it this way, that was what was at the back of my mind. And I'm not going to allow any government to come and torpedo that vision. Promise you that.
So do you know if this current minister is drilling for oil, sir?
No, no drilling has occurred as yet. I tell you the truth, I would know, because one of the things I mandated when I granted the license is that whoever the minister is, somebody would tell me. I was the one who gave the license. Somebody will come and tell me. So no drilling has occurred as yet, and I'm hoping that it will be done soon.
Member Paul, I know you have to run, but what is going on in the panel between the speaker and the opposition, sir? Are you people going to sit and allow the speaker to continue speaking to the members of the opposition that way, sir?
Well, we are not allowing it. It has occurred. I think the Jamaican people have frowned on that. We are going to be relentless in ensuring that our voices are heard and that no speaker is going to muzzle us. We believe that there has to be reforms in how we go about selecting a speaker. Already our side, we've been talking about how you can ensure fairness. And we've had speakers over time now that have risen above the hard party politics. We have appointed speakers from both sides who were not your hardcore tribalists. We have to get away from having speakers who are such hardcore. And we have to find a formula to ensure that there's greater fairness. We are looking at some models now elsewhere. I believe, for example, that a speaker should really not come from any of the two parties.
Exactly.
I believe you can have an independent speaker brought in to be the referee and not to be an active participant in the arena. Thank you very much for having me on.
Member Paulwell, please, man, one more thing. Why is it that when they appointed the speaker, sir, why didn't you get up and nominate somebody else or get up and walk out?
Because no, the country since independence, even before independence, we have had speakers nominated by the government and in every case seconded by the opposition. Every case. This is the first time a speaker has been nominated and not seconded by the opposition. And in our system, that is a major protest. That is a major point of departure. Yeah. And I wish people would see it for what it really was. That this speaker that is now sitting in our parliament was not seconded by the opposition.
I remember.
We could not have nominated. We could not have nominated another person. That would really become a charade and a facade. We did what was the appropriate thing to do, and I think we have created history by so doing.
Member Paulwell, Opposition Spokesperson on Energy, Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal. Thanks for coming on to the program, sir. And I hope you can come onto the program one of these days and take some phone calls if people ask some questions, you can answer them, sir. Because people want to ask some questions of you. Because they can't get you to Daryl Val, because Daryl Val said with too bad mind.
Yes. I would love that. I'd love to do that. And let me know early in the new year we could do that. Not a problem.
I'd appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much for coming onto the program, sir.
Have a good Christmas and a better 2026.
Same to you, sir. And continue to fight for the people of our country, sir. God bless you.
Blessings.
Member of Parliament for East Kingston and Port Royal, Opposition Spokesperson on Energy, Phillip Paulwell, one of Mama P's, should I say, son, who continue to fight for the poor class of Jamaicans. Phillip Paulwell, for coming on to the program tonight. Jamaicans, you hear Member Paulwell speak to us about the utility, about JPS. You hear Member Paulwell speak to us about possibility of oil and natural gas between St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland. But my take on all of this, if there's such a thing, if there's oil there, which I believe there is something there, will the Jamaican people benefit from all of this? We can take a few calls, 954-529-8030. What do you think about what Member Paulwell said about the license for JPS? And I asked him the question, couldn't they put out all of this to members of the Jamaican diaspora in the United States, in Canada, in London, in Dubai? Because Jamaicans living in Dubai. Jamaicans are wealthy people, you know. Yeah. Jamaicans are wealthy people. Maybe not wealthy in knowledge, but maybe not wealthy in our money. Good night, Mek Wi Talk here live.
How you doing, man?
I'm looking and living, sir.
Yeah, man, we like the presentation where Minister Paulwell gave. And the man speak truthfully. But, you know, with all the price that Daryl was, not talking like that, about how much million they want for him. Because most likely it's only Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, Montego Bay.
One thing I can tell you, sir.
Yes.
I am not an expert when it comes on to light and power in any country. And what I know for a fact, that the grid in St. Elizabeth gone. So it's gonna cost money to rebuild all of those grids.
You know all of that. But you have to get somebody who know about electrical things with you. You can't just get an estimate off of your head and you don't really know the price of the thing and what have you.
Well,
You have to get an expert.
maybe JPS gave them the minister that. I don't think the minister is that wicked to just come and say, okay, he's going to loan JPS $24 billion based on his knowledge.
I was listening to them in Parliament and them asked them the question. That's why I said that. And JPS not giving no estimate based on what we hear. I don't know anything. Because I was listening to the Parliament. I was listening when them asked the question.
Listen to the Parliament. Now you come to the conclusion that JPS didn't give it an estimate?
Them asking the questioning. Listen what I'm saying, Jeffrey. I was watching.
And I was watching the Parliament too.
Yes. And then I asked him, and he said JPS not giving an estimate.
He said it out of his mouth?
Yes. You can't go watch the replay. And he go back and he change the figures again. Go and watch it, man. But all right, listen what I try to tell you now. You see where me come from, Jamaica? There is a power plant right there will supply part of Trelawney and part of Senton. And that power plant did over 100 years. And it is hydro plant run by water. A lot of those power plants in Jamaica, I don't know if you know that, is run by water. So there is no way it's the power for sale, the current supposed to sell so expensive, man. How you gonna sell the government property to people who don't have no money? And the government have
This has
return
been going on for years, sir.
Well, a full time we stop.
This has been going on for years.
Yeah, but it's full time we stop. Whether PNP or Labour, it is full time we stop. You agree with that or you don't agree?
I agree with you.
It's full time we stop and take the people for full, man.
But I can tell you one thing, you know.
Yes.
Tavares take the Jamaican people for a bunch of punu-munu. Because he believed that he got away with the $1.4 billion.
You almost them. Yeah, me and you.
And I don't know if you can show a receipt.
Me and you talk to the
minister. He come back now. He come back now with this $24 billion. Hold on for me now. He come back now with this $24 billion to JPS and refuse to show any receipt because him had done that.
All right, now that's a very important subject with the Jeffrey. I know, yeah, that's a very important subject, right? You see all the money where them talk about billion, you know that the equation where them use is wrong. If any at all the money where them talk about the $6.8 billion.
What 6.8 billion?
Yeah, when I know that, this is what I'm saying first.
What 6.8 billion?
About the damage we rebuild Jamaica. Where them and they talk about, right? Say it's $6.8 billion with the damage. All right, this is what I'm saying to you. That the equation that what Jamaica been using since 1973 is wrong. 1,000 million is not a billion, you know. That is the equation that Jamaica they use. They follow the United States system. If them have $6.8 billion, everybody, the entire population of Jamaica couldn't get $2.8 million. So the 1,000 million where them call billion is not a billion. I don't know where they get that equation from.
You were just selling it from the United States?
Yes, listen to me. I go to school in 1962, right? And that is not the original billion. And when we left school in 1973, the United States implement $1,000 million to $1 billion. They call it short scale billion.
What are you talking about? 1963.
Just me enough for debate that. I've been to school 1962, me go college and all them something like that, and I'm telling you something what me know. Because you don't know. That is 1973, the United States changed the equation from a million to 1,000 million.
Which one of them?
You can't go look at man, the original billion. Is a million times a million make a billion. A million times a million make a billion is not 1,000. You know, we go college for years, done them something like that, and when we go to school, you never born yet. You can go and look it up. I don't know which government implement and follow the United States, but 1,000 million is no billion. Huh?
No must your government do it.
I said I don't know because it's 1973 that the United States implemented.
Hold on, make up your mind. They said 1960, no, it's 1973.
No, and that's listen what I'm saying to you. I said I've been to school 1962. I was in elementary school at the time.
Right? 1973, how old were you then?
I was 20, working at bauxite.
Uh-huh. And it's 1973 in the
1970. Jeffrey, go and look it up. There you have it.
No, hold on, man. I'm
yeah.
Hello, calm down.
Yeah.
I am asking you a question.
Right.
You said it's 1973. Jamaica developed this thing to copy the United States to do what about trillion and billion.
I didn't. No, let's remember state again. I said in 1973, the United States changed original billion in 1973 from a million times a million to 1,000 million to the billion, and it's wrong. I said I don't know which government, if it's the PNP government implementing the system or the Labour government when it coming up. I don't know which one them do it. But you can look it up and you will see for yourself that the original billion, the European billion, is a million times a million. And a trillion is a billion times a billion. A billion is 13 figures, not 10. And a trillion is 19. The United States call it short scale billion. You can't go look it up.
And the Jamaicans, they copy it.
Jamaican copy it.
Oh.
You can't look it up.
So what you're saying now?
Yes.
That what they come out with say 6 billion to rebuild Jamaica. Not go say that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Oh. So how much money is it cost to rebuild Jamaica then?
This is what I'm saying, If hold on, the money with them said, hold on.
No, you hold
the
on.
money what them said, the money that they said, if that was the true figure, each people in Jamaica, if you divide that by the population.
So what is the true figure?
You said it is wrong.
So
the true figure is a million times a million is a billion. So them are fool people by using.
Hold on a minute there. Hold on. You're telling us on this platform tonight.
Yes.
That the government says it's gonna cost Jamaica 6 billion. So I don't remember hearing them saying that. But anyway, they don't cost Jamaica.
You don't read the thing, man. You're not follow what they're going. You're not follow what they're going.
Gonna cost the country $6 billion.
Yes.
To rebuild Jamaica.
Right.
You are 6 billion Jamaican, not 6 million US.
Whether in a US or in Jamaican dollar.
Okay. So you're saying to us tonight that that is not right. That's not the correct one.
No.
Huh?
No.
Okay.
The figures that they are used.
Hold on. You're saying it is not the correct figure. And I'm asking you, what is the correct figure then?
The correct figure is a million times a million, make a billion. It is not a billion. They call it a billion, but it's not a billion. Based on calculation. I don't know which one of them start use it and copy the US system. But the equation where them are used is wrong. If when you come out for the year, you can go pull it up and look and see the original build European billion and you will find out. And Chilean and what have you.
Then, okay. If you are telling us that they're using the wrong thing.
The wrong figure they might use.
Allow me to speak now, man. If you're saying to us that they're using the wrong thing.
Yes.
Okay? And it's
Yes.
$6 billion.
No.
Why didn't you calculate the figure and come with the correct figure to us?
But I don't know I don't see the estimate, but I must tell you that the figure what them use.
So if you not see the estimate, hold on.
But you're wrong. Hold on.
You not see the estimate. How on earth can we continue to say that $6 billion is wrong?
Because of the wrong figures they might use. You know, you have to understand what. I don't know which school you go, but you're hard to learn. You hard to learn. That's something I try to.
Yeah, man, it's hard to learn because I don't understand what you're trying to say. If you are saying to us that the $6 billion is not the correct.
Yes, but it is not correct. Yes.
It's not the correct.
But you didn't even allow me to speak and
hold on, man.
Yes.
And you said that they're using the wrong calculation. Why didn't you calculate it correctly and tell us the correct figure?
But you have that's why we should say you have to understand.
Yeah.
I just show you that it don't reach up to that amount of money what them talk about.
And I'm saying to you, tell us the right figure. Tell us
Jeffrey,
the right figure.
Jeffrey, it is 6,000 million is not no 6 billion. I told them I use 1,000 million.
And I'm saying to you.
But I just tell you a while ago.
No.
It is 6,000 million instead of the estimate is not no 6 billion. The US call it short scale billion.
So tell us the right figure.
All right, I just tell you already, go look it up. I just tell you.
No. You come on this platform to talk to us about something. Tell us the right figure.
Yeah, but I just tell you already. It is 6,000 million.
Go
it
and
is not 6 billion.
Listen to me. Go and do your calculation and come back to me. Because we're talking about them make no sense.
You don't know sense, man. You don't got no school, man.
Yes,
you don't got no school, because you don't know that.
The amount of order. Get off of the platform, you damn illiterate idiot. Get off of the platform. You come on this platform and you can't do something correctly. That's why the Prime Minister talking about propaganda news. Are you people spread propaganda news? So come on this platform with it. You can't get the correct figure to me. You come chatting nonsense. 954-529-8030. You see, sometimes I love to entertain these people to laugh about them buying. You know? So it is 600,000 million. My dear, I don't understand this man. I don't understand this man. Anyway, member Paulwell gave us a good conversation this evening. Very good conversation. And I enjoy talking to him because you learn a lot in a sense. I wish you could have Marlon Morgan come on this platform tonight to talk to us. But Marlon Morgan won't come on. For some unknown reason. Marlon won't come on the platform. And I will not accept another call from that man. Miss P, good night.
Wow, so my 600 million. 600,000 million. I tell you. Wow.
Sorry, Miss P, welcome to the program.
Welcome, boy. Everything make you laugh. Sometimes you have to just listen to them and just get a good little laugh. Anyway, I want the people to look for people. I look for that person who know their job.
Miss P, what I know? You remind me of your friend saying, "No, build Silicon Valley."
Yes. And STEM school.
Oh, Jesus, have mercy, dear God.
I got
You go to college. You say
Yeah,
you go to
man.
college,
No
and
way.
I know you can't get the correct thing. Don't tell me you're correct. Bloody idiot.
I thought my Jamaica, enough people got some excuse college and them have masters and degrees and PhD permanent head damage and no common sense. Bull.
Hey, listen to me.
No.
That man, hold on, you know, say that man, that same man there,
Uh-huh.
called me program one day, and you know, say, he must think I don't remember him, threaten me how him no report the Mek Wi Talk program to YouTube. Because he called the program one day. I mean, I remember when he called the program about. And I was saying to him, no, the JLP did not. Boy, you're dirty labor, right? Come on for this and blah, blah, blah. And he sent me a text. What I want him not do? What I want him not do? Him say one. When he thinks I don't remember him.
And mad people, you know, you have some mad people in that clean clothes.
I tell you. Not
Anyway, sometimes we like them. Because this 600,000 million boy, they don't care. But me, I like to see that anybody where a mathematician, write out enough figure there for me. I'm willing to learn.
Not more than
600,000 million.
Listen to me. Not more than he must hear some idiot with this thing and him pick up it.
Yeah, man. Some fool. And not look for themselves.
If you are saying that the government is lying to the people of the country, and all of cost 600 billion, or 6 billion, whatever, to fix back Jamaica, and they're using some American madland and that and whatever. So calculate the correct figure and tell us.
Simple. Simple. You know, like some people say, just like I tell us, it thing, you know, right. But you can't tell me the right. But you just a laba chat. It don't make sense because you can't solve the problem. So why I chat? Anyway, when we call it's about, you see the difference with a person, but for instance, with Mr. Paulwell. You see how Mr. Paulwell answer the question, put out the word, no buffing and bring and bug. In this, I go straight, you ask him a question, him is able to answer you, tell you, detail you when you ask him. He say, I know, I did not know, and I will try to know, and I will try to get some information.
Right.
Him not tell nobody about them bad mind, and he not get under in color, and in just say professional people. These are the people who drive around the country. People where you can talk to, where you can get knowledge from, and people were honest. You ask him a question and he said, no, I hear about it, but I can't say anything because I don't officially get the argument, so I cannot comment on it. But me do hear it. Fine, that's a good answer. You ask him my next question, he said, no, nothing like that. You ask me if any drilling are going, he said, no. Why he said no? Because he says no.
Right, because he said
he said him having eagle out there. Right, so once I inside it,
right.
So once a man move to it, eagle go fly.
Right.
Easy as that.
Right.
So those are the people.
Sorry, Miss P,
go ahead. Those are the people we want. We don't want people like people in our parliament that buffer. Member. And a member, no. Member.
Don't hang up, Miss P.
Member.
Miss P, don't hang up. Let me take this call here. Don't hang up, Miss P. Hold on, let me take this call here. Good night, Mek Wi. Hello, good night, Mek Wi Talk. Hello? Hello, good night. Hello, good night. Okay, the person connected, so I don't know what's going on with their system. I'm gonna go back to Miss P. Okay, did I hang up from Miss P? Where Miss P is? Okay, let me call back this person. Miss P, I'm gonna call you back in a couple minutes. Because this person was calling. Okay, not getting through to this person. Okay, let me call back Miss P. Ew, I don't know what's going on. Miss P, sorry. Let me call back Miss P here. Miss P.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Continue talking. Sorry, I
Yeah,
thought this guy
man.
was coming in because this person was calling from
Yeah. Member, 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 and we did member, and member, and no. When you sit down, stand up, go where I do and pay attention. And young people, where them is the future if we can take over this country. I see people in a parliament and be a member and member and we didn't and what kind of foolishness is them there? No, me is a ordinary person. And when me used to work and them a call meeting, me make sure right down when me I go ask you the question. And if you are going to tell no answer the hard question, nobody with me, because me I go ask you when me want to know. Me, my right. And you have them the post, you collect so much money. And you can't, we are work for. These are the things that frustrated me. We not bad mind you for your money, but work for your money, brother. You say you're the Minister of Finance. We go up and understand, get educated, and thanks to you guys again. Have plenty of way we be within one of things. But we know now what the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Security, we know them. You must prepare. Me never, from your picnic, me watch Parliament. I'm going to tell you how me stay. I a little girl, used to left school when school over. I'm going to courthouse, go sit down, you know. But because me never have the family to help me so don't make me not get the opportunity, you know. Me used to leave school and go in a courthouse, go sit down and listen to you. That's how me get to learn enough of my knowledge. Let me tell you how me get my schooling from. The newspaper, RJR.
Yes.
God bless Winston Williams, Barry G, Barbara Gruden, and Alan Magnus, Dorian Samuel, and the list goes on. Because me not got no high school, you know. I'm Moti Perkins. Me not got no high school. I never sit down. Teacher left. Then yard and come look, left school, come look for me to get a H paper. Me never write, me never get a H paper. I when me a big woman, me get my H paper. Me a half one. So me not done. Me not go high school, but me use up my sense. You understand? And you get a job like that, Jeffrey. And you sit down in a parliament. Me never see. Back in the days, a minister have permanent secretary, pan right, and one of the secretary, pan left, and one of and junior minister in front, and one of the one back of you, a back you. Yeah, all of those briefing done in an office. And then when you come with a speech, right, or whatever. Me never see that yet in Jamaica. Permanent secretary.
I tell you something in this speech. They never expect the opposition to give them that lines of question. The opposition really, Damian Crawford, the gentleman from St. Mary there, I think his name is Newell.
Omar Newell.
Yes, Omar
they
Newell.
Ring them.
Listen to me, man. Omar Newell gave some questions that the minister turned fool. They never expect that.
That for sure is so we have bright scholars over the PNP side, and the people allow this nincompoop to take over. I saw me can call them from the top of them idiot come straight down. Then if most thing then talk, them me tell you, if Jamaican people are watching Parliament, anytime you see them a tell lie, they start to get exhausted and I praise themselves. I never know you don't praise yourself. People give appraisal even if you work and the person who supervise you write your appraisal and rate your 10-1, whatever. You appraise yourself. Self-praise is no recommendation because fisherman never say fish think. When you have it for last week, you go, fresh fish. And for last week, you have it for ice, but that's still fresh fish. Right? So therefore, we don't know what happened. Something is definitely wrong. Member. And the problem where I find it wrong, my opinion, my personal opinion, I feel say this lady is been grilled to tell some lie.
Yes.
And true, she don't know how to tell some lie. You have to have a backup. We say, remember, say so, you don't have that. You don't have that. And for you know what hurt me, Jeffrey, as a woman? And when I hear that lady say, her mother used to be a pudding and sell must a school gate or somewhere there. And it's a joy if you see a parent work so hard and sacrifice and to send your baby go school. And if you see your baby come out of something valuable. And then in your last days now, you dash away. It's so embarrassing. Why this woman go to Harvard? When you hear about Harvard, God got the most executor, what they call it, university. Right? And you come and make and take yourself on a puppet. And when if you do a search, that woman supposed to be the brightest woman in the whole cabinet. So why you allow yourself to make? Why you allow some nincompoop to turn you an idiot after you sacrifice your parents sacrifice a pudding to keep you in a school? You one got trained. Eh?
You have
God.
Miss P, you have some people, who are street smart, and not book smart. And Daryl Vaz is one of them. Daryl Vaz is very street smart. And he knows what he can get away with. And that is why he does it. And Daryl Vaz have a way of tying up poor anti-favor.
I know him alone, so the whole of them time up.
All right.
I'm Machina. Me don't know more come out. But me can tell you, right now, I am not working. You know why? One of the reasons why? I don't want Diane police to harass me. This is what me don't know about. Or when me should I say, I mean not say. You have a word when you're corruption. Mr. Finsley with trade we say, nothing never happen until something happen. So me don't want to be between the rock and the hard stone. Me I protect you, and then and then me get caught up. Me not join that with you. Once things are going weird where me know I'm not supposed to go, excuse me. I rather drink water and go on my bed and dead with my dignity. Prisoner make for dog, but I hold your hand up there. Right? My integrity valuable, nobody can buy. And if you put me at your place to work, you expect the best of me. Me expect to give you my 100. So when me give my 100 in return, you're supposed to give me your 100. If you have a company, and me I go work there, I supposed to work there and improve the company. Because while the company improve, me supposed to improve too. That is it. That's how me know business go. So you have your radio business, and you give me a job, me supposed to go out there, go market it, do my best. So when money start, you feel know, so you have to give me my own car. If me I look how much the money I make, I now get to me. Me I go say something, I feel like me I go like me a angel. Because me I go put in the work. Right? But in the parliament, yes. But in the parliament, what is happening? It's very distasteful. It don't have no future. Our future children, them at the university, them don't have a future. It not look good. It not smell good. Nothing about it not good. The parliament, although our teacher, Mr. Finty said, our cluster, our parliament is a I call a pack of baboon is called parliament. Where you go? I think
Exactly what you
Jesus
said.
for I hope in all listen because me a mix up it. Either parliament a cluster a baboon is called a parliament or something. Somewhere there so. Him tell me that, and me not forget that. So that's how we play in parliament now. That is what playing out, Jeffrey. And it is very distasteful. And what a beat me again, Jeffrey. How can you, as a human being, say you love people and love country, and you feel good, happy, jollying, and your sisters and brothers are down in the West suffering, not of what they've done, but what they could not escape from. And you have all the resources, what you could help them, give them back a start in some way, shape, or form. And you're going to tell me about light. You know how long for when light gone, people get adjusted to it. Yes, we need light. Yes, we want light. But if you don't have no house, where you put the light? We want light for the every central and where light can go. But for those people who not no house, where them ever put the light? Who are gonna pay the light bill? Let no house, no work. Who are gonna pay that light bill? Come on, man. And we feel like these people, some corruption they back at this $150 million.
Yeah, man.
You know, just
this
so.
$24 billion. There's
This,
something.
no so. Something in it no right. It's fishy bad. But I want to tell the parliamentarian them say, go and read about Hitler and all the things that Hitler have done and see him end up.
Hold on, Mr. We met at the call. Don't hang up. Hold on. Hello, good night, Mek Wi Talk.
Good night, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I see you calling for a long while now. Go ahead.
I sent you a text. Look at the text. It describes what the man is talking about. What happened is that the UK was using a long scale, so they had 12 zeros on a billion, and they switched to the
they were
9.
1973. It wasn't the United States. It was England was using it.
England was using it, and then the United States always used it, but England was using it, and England switched, I think, in 1974. I think that's what he was trying to explain. It's called the long scale and the short scale. I think that's what he was trying to explain to you. That's all I wanted to say.
But what proof does he have that Jamaicans are using it?
I don't know what his proof is. He needed to come with proof.
They said a lot of English countries have been using it too.
Yep. Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Okay.
I wasn't born in '62. I just wanted to try to show you what he was talking about.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling.
All right. Have a good one.
Thanks for the research. Thanks.
I'm
gonna take about Miss P and then we call it a night. I'm gonna take about Miss P and then talk to Miss P for a couple more minutes and then we're gonna call it a night. Yes, Miss P.
Yeah. Yeah, me I turn on the TV. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah.
I have to read this thing properly before I comment on what the man was saying.
Okay.
Go ahead, Miss P.
So what me say now about the light? We all need light because we get accustomed to light. Nothing is wrong with that. But for those persons who do not have a house, where them are going to put the light?
On top of the Alvar's head.
And that's my problem. And how comes a company will make so much $100 million still a borrow money? Last year, a Daryl Vaz come out and say, you can't buy what you can't buy it. He come again, I said Parliament, one of the day and say, after the hurricane, said there will be no increase. It didn't look it tape and play it. There will be no increase. And Almighty God of Daniel, you come now, you say not going to raise it 7% when people don't have a job. Farmer don't have nothing to sell. Higgler don't have nothing to sell. Food price up, gone up. Be little over there. What can go so? Where you go pay 7% out of? Eh? No, sir. This one ball out. Eh? This one ball out.
You want ball
Where you
out?
gonna take place? No, but where you gonna take place? Jeffrey, that no, just look me fling where the big chart in now. Just
Ball out! Whoa, yo, yo, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election.
Yes, Miss P, go ahead. You have 2 more minutes, so we're gonna wrap up.
remember, we don't have nothing. Then we can't buy food. But we are going to take to pay 7% like this. Most of us don't have employment. We don't have income. It's them people not consider because them sit down on them millions and billions. And me no hungry blame Tavares, you know. You know me now blame him. I mean not blame the JLP alone. Me blame civil society because they are the one who supporting these people in whatever they do. It's full-time people in the church. Them fi get up now, man, and start. This too much. Too much. And when they done, then disrespect the diaspora. Right now, if I diaspora from COVID till now, a diaspora bear every blunt Jamaica problem. In some way, shape, or form. Diaspora. And when you say, what we parliament and give the diaspora a seat in the parliament or a representative that they can contribute towards it, nothing. Right? If you have investment, call in the diaspora, remember them, say, look here, come in, we have this, we have that. Make the diaspora be a part of Jamaica. You know, make up hotel and make up this. Some man from look at. If, me I go say this, if most of the hotel them, they owner operate by Jamaica diaspora, they will be up and running now. If a 100 room they have, I don't want to fix up 50 and operate it and take time up the other 50. They would gone.
You
because
know,
what?
I
Saw
saw
them come from?
Miss P. I saw my good friend Lee Issa, who owns Couples Hotel. His foundation with the guests them at his hotels. Is building back their staff members who was affected by Hurricane Melissa. They are building back some houses for them. Repairing the houses, giving them shelter and support, zinc and whatever. What they can do.
Amen. That because what? It means a son of the sign.
Yes.
And I hear so yard in know if you run go. Yeah. So if Uno from over, if Uno the diaspora was here, I same thing Uno that do.
Yeah.
Uno that call Uno workers and say, see, that's the way at me. But this is the way forward. If you lose 2 rooms, me not go tell you say me can give you 2 rooms. But if I have one room, me go no and make we take time start. If you hotel a 500 room and some mash up, either try fix back 250 or 200 room and say make we still run it on a smaller scale until we can build up. I would have time build back myself. But because them not come from here, all them have to do, pack them bag, brush them foot, and when them go on the plane, me never take plane yet. Me never defend the carpet, the on the step, wipe off their foot, and gone. When Jamaica come up back now, when who out here struggle and build back now, yesterday I come back and say, oh, they are investors and then long necktie and come again. And sit up again, then gone again. Can't work, so brother. Cannot work like that. The diaspora need to hold and the problem again too. Most of the diaspora, not most, some of the diaspora member them are in colleague with the government and not seeing what is happening. They would like to come and have big dinner and take picture and big drink and then not sit because
and get all dead donkey.
Right. Because then I think about them country and say, guess what? We are going to own some supermarket, own some hotel, and we are going to run some business that with Jamaican people can improve themselves, deal with them with respect, pay them properly, and take care of the country. Because at certain age, I want to retire in Jamaica.
You know,
right now,
you touched a very important point a while ago. If Bruce Golding had approached members of the Jamaican diaspora with Air Jamaica,
would I still have a plane?
I believe we still have Air Jamaica.
Of course. But the reason, Jeffrey, one of the reasons why them not want, because they're not going to get no kickback.
Exactly.
Because Jamaica, I know I go fling where the English speaking, I know I go tell them, say, guess what? Me no in that, I straight what me I deal with. And then I go tell them how to run. I go people at Jamaica, I go work with the law of the country and the workers, I'm going to feel like they're a part of something. Imagine you work in a company and you feel like it's nothing. And my last job, if me not go there as a female, go up one big old iron gate sometime when me feel like me back. No operation can go on. Remember me tell you, me are the lone female I work there with our 5-6 man, and me's the only one to reach our work early. And sometimes they make plan for people come there, place from 10 o'clock, but then tell them say they reach by 8. And me have to reach there, me one have to open gate with piece of big iron. Me not tell a lie. Right? And yet still you work with them and you feel like you are not a part of the system. And without you open the gate, no guests can come in. And yet still, if you want something, all little food, I pay dog food, them are give them all overnight food. All the little sitting there. Them sitting there for cut out. So when you hear, Jeffrey, when you hear people, I say, Jamaican people are work. Lie.
No, so.
Jamaican people are work. You ever find a few bad apples, everywhere you go, you find bad apple. No matter where you go. But people love to work and people love to feel a sense of belonging. A sense of belonging. I used to work with a company. And the man, Mr. Chung, I don't know if he's dead or alive, when the man and wife used to run with Century Service Security. Century Service Security. You see that the man there? That the man there, when he come on location, he sit down and chat to you, you feel like you own the company. And if any supervisor, manager ever thinking can pass in place with the security guard them, him at them have go through the gate. You see Christmas have come and you're on location. Remember you get where you get properly, you get your bonus. And if you take sick, you go home. We used to get sick leave with pay before them come with it long time. Maternity leave with pay a long time. God bless Mr. Chuck and Mrs. Chuck anyway, when they're there. So you still have Jamaican, we have hard for people. So Jeffrey, these are the things we have mash up Jamaica, they kick back.
Yeah.
Because what? You know me. No, you know me as a security officer. Somebody tell us that you want a chef. You ever come tell me, say, why? Me know John Brown want a chef, You can't cook. Hear me. Yes, I want the job. When me go down now, me can't hot water, me can't burn water. Me hot water, then me water here, and me burn you. Just kick back. It no work, so. If you just stay in your own lane, if you train as a police, you stay as a police. No, I not gonna tell a person say, me a this and me a that. No. Me know what me personally train for 100%. Me is a security, me is a supervisor, me is a storeroom manager, storeroom supervisor, those things we do. Me and a nurse, me not get injection. But yet still, I mean do what you call it practical nursing. So me can take care of all people. Me know if it change, me know if it do everything. And me know if it give them the medication upon time. Me know if it friend them up and when them get all, some of them have Alzheimer's and go off all those things we can do. But me no chef, so I'm not gonna tell nobody say me can't cook. And me can't cook, but me not gonna take a job because me know you just in a certain class and it pay a big money. So me go take you and then when me get paid now, me figure you a thing because you price me up and everything I go bad. You know work so. Some of the things we are much of the country. These are the little things and people now look for the. These are the little things that the foreigner them glad to come because they can get cheap labor and make big bucks. Get the authority when they forget. And we, the small people, been slaving for nothing. So slavery that Jamaica because we don't have any shackle for we put and we earn. Imagine when you work, you can't even save money out of your work. And you have to work harder. People are talk down to you, especially in the hotel business. People come and talk down to you and I go like them more you. Me used to work at a buyer principle, you know. Me used to work at a buyer principle. I mean the pool deck I do patrolling. This man I go tell me say, me can't stand up. So me have to look at him, a white man, I say, me look to you like a soldier. Me look to you like soldier. No, but you must keep walking. Me say keep walking, go where? You cannot stay here. Me say I don't live here. And me say matter of fact, let me tell you something. Go and watch your camera. If you don't see me a patrol. Me look like robot. And one of them manager come down. Like him, I watch the camera and say something and say. But he talking in Spanish. Me don't know what he say. So me I look at him and he said, okay, security, in put in English now. I was just asking him, what is the problem? So me tell him, he said, tell him man, where am I go? Because he see the lady I walk up and down, he man go look and see me and say, rest your foot. You're not an animal. All you have to do is stay right here and look in the pool at anything you can do. That's all you have to do. This man now just to him feel like him high. I can't tell him, but if he keep walking, like me a prisoner. Brother, Jeffrey, I where my Jamaica have the people here, man.
All right, Miss P.
That's why I say me. Yeah, man. Jeffrey, have you ever called me back as thing?
Yeah, man.
I said, come on.
I need to talk to you about something. I got something for you.
Yeah. All right. Now listen to speaker. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I want to say thanks to Member of Parliament, Opposition Spokesperson on Energy, Phillip Paulwell, for coming on. Thank you all. Oh, another call coming in. East Kingston and Port Royal, what's going on?
How go on?
You did watch your Member of Parliament earlier on?
Yeah, but me never spend not only part time because me did a little juggling.
Okay.
Oh, me seeing them, but never really sit down for listen, you know. When you're not do your own thing, you work with people, you know. Certain things you can handle.
Me they are working now too. Hey.
You know, see. What me I talk about, you know, is this light thing, you know, with JPS. You know, see. Me don't know why all the while people must take Jamaica and Jamaican for a big bunch of idiot, or a big set of dunce.
Because those who we put to govern us show them that we're a bunch of kunumuno.
Exactly. Right? Because I remember one time, I don't remember the name of the company that came from the US and did have JPS.
Morant.
And when Morant?
Yeah, man. Then Morant was bankrupt in the United States.
Right.
And when they came to Jamaica, PJ Patterson
and
administration sold JPS Morant for the plan nothing.
When they come out,
And when Morant done with JPS, he could go pay off in debt in the United States and buy a power plant somewhere in Texas.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He come a bankrupt, you know. And when he left, he turn on and he kick with CM1.
Because those
Right?
who we put to govern us has no respect for us. And they take us for a bunch of kunumunu.
Right? You mean to tell me now, I'm a talk, me a specify, I'm a specific. Jamaica Labour Party, all who are lead the party. I want to sleep at night.
Oh, they sleep well. Sorry, they
You
sleep
never
well.
look in the mirror? You never look in the mirror?
They will look in their mirror and nothing is wrong. They believe what they're doing is perfectly all right. They don't care about us. You know, hear Daryl say we're dark, dumb, and stupid.
Me tell Daryl say him parents did have it. Where him could have go to high school and left from high school and go to college. And right now, me don't go school, me go to Sunday school and me can challenge Daryl anytime. Me can challenge him anytime and I'll beat him, frustrate and trees. Me not think Daryl Vaz cause people done the biggest done to him. How you can find $150 million US fee the JPS?
24 billion Jamaican dollars.
Right? And then you go come and say, of a part or whatever part or all part, chicken part or chuck part or whatever
Our
part.
chicken chassis.
Or chicken chassis.
And we mustn't ask
Right?
him no question.
And you know if you ask you no question. Oh, you mean me if you ask you no question, Daryl Vaz? Don't say Daryl Vaz, me ask you a question. Or you come by the $150 million US for your JPS. JPS supposed to have money.
There's something as you know, I need to agree with Miss P. You know, there is something about this $24 billion loan to JPS that we are not hearing the truth about.
And we now got hear none. And that's the wickedest part of the argument. Right? Because we're not holding them accountable, so the very accountable can task. Him not have to explain to nobody. Right?
Say it already and I'll say it again.
You don't have to explain to nobody. You just get up and just go in a parliament and nobody put you in there or whatever. Right? And every time you see this brother, yeah, Daryl Vaz, you make me cringe more and more every time you see you. Every time you open your mouth. And the last time you open your mouth and somebody says something, you're fasty, drop out. But you now go drop out for me, no Daryl Vaz. That me I tell you.
You have been fasty?
Of course.
Oh.
Right? You now go drop out for me, no Daryl Vaz. You need to stop from do what you're doing. You are very dishonest. And it will go play back on you. And it's sooner than later. Remember me tell you, you take up $150 million US and come on top of that. JPS get a 7% increase. Eh?
And I'll know.
Oh, no.
And I'll know. We gotta go now, Miss East King, it's 9 o'clock. And I'll know Daryl Vaz can explain to the people of Jamaica when you use $1.4 billion buy.
Exactly. And JPS are going to send me bill. And one thing me have to tell JPS, when me pay for September bill, but once see you send no more bill, come give me and think say me I go pay for it 4 months. It a go 4 months. October, November, December. 3 months me out of light. I want to talk about this increase long before Melissa look over ya. Right? When I talk about this increase long before Melissa look over here. Me not pay for October, November, December, and if you no mind chop right up to February. And me want to send me bill. JPS send me bill because I know not to go cut off that. I want to not cut it off. I would be so glad because solar are run. You hear? Okay. Solar is running. So una me make up my mind to take it to uno. To take it to uno. Because not too dishonest. When I send people bill, and from October people don't have no bill. Maybe about January people still not gonna have no light. People not have no light for October. And maybe January coming then not gonna have no. I'm not still a send bill. Una unconscionable. Una not have nothing in conscience. Una not consider poor people.
Because you know what? They OUR.
Don't even talk about them,
Them
because when
is the
Mr.
other one.
Perkins was alive, Mr. Perkins said, these people call and say, oh, you are. It's not oh, you are. It theirs. I feed them and I feel it. Them let's set a bunch of don't know what we call them.
Anyway, it's Kingston and Port
Right?
We got everyone. Thanks
Sure.
for calling in.
Yeah, man, cool.
Thanks very much. Thanks to
Yeah,
all
one
the
love.
callers, all the people in the chat room. Thanks for walking the divine purpose who passed by. Thank you all very much. There is a new travel restriction imposed by the United States on Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica. A new travel restriction imposed by the Trump administration on 2 Caribbean islands, Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica. So that's what is going on. New travel restriction imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump on the country of Antigua and Barbuda and the country of Dominica. Thank you all for coming onto the Mek Wi Talk program. Thank you all for being a part of the program. May God bless you. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to the Mek Wi Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Until you hear my voice again. And remember our people in Western Jamaica. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Good night, everybody.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, Mek Wi Talk, my people, Mek Wi Talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Mek Wi Talk, people, Mek Wi Talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, Mek Wi Talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Mek Wi Talk.